Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. This is Toon 215, and right now we're in the state of Pennsylvania. We're currently in the city of Philadelphia. Today we're going to be doing a drive-through of a neighborhood called Spring Garden, located here in central Philadelphia. Spring Garden also connects with the Fairmont neighborhood. Right now we're on Spring Garden, which separates the Spring Garden neighborhood on our right from the Francisville and Logan Square neighborhood on our left. We're traveling westbound on Spring Garden. We're passing several businesses on our right, several businesses on our left, including an educational center known as Community College of Philadelphia, education institution. We're gonna continue traveling past 16th Street. We're on 16th and Spring Garden. We have the Colonnade on our right. I believe we also have a middle school for students who are higher learners. I believe the name is Mastermind. On our left, we have one of the Community College of Philadelphia entrances, the West Building on 17th and Spring Garden. Over 50,000 students attend community college annually. We're passing 17th and Spring Garden. We have a gentleman on our right hand side riding the bike on the bike lane. It's about 45 degrees. We're gonna take this up another handful of blocks and then we'll make a right and we'll start exploring some of the back blocks in the Spring Garden neighborhood. Now, one thing that's very unique about this neighborhood is Spring Garden is a neighborhood that combines diverse residential neighborhoods and significant cultural attractions. Now, attractions such as the Art Museum. Directly down the block in front of us is the Art Museum, which is famous for having a lot of the rarest and most notable art in the world. But not only that, it's also known for the Rocky movie. Rocky ran up those Art Museum steps. So it's a really popular attraction. A lot of people take pictures next to the Rocky statue, which is located right next to it. Then you have the Schuylkill River, and you have Center City on our left-hand side, which is where all the high rises are at. Passing 18th Street, we have Philadelphia Tabernacle, a place of becoming church on our right-hand side. Several businesses on our left. Carpenters Benefit Funds on our right. Now check out the design on these buildings on our right. We're passing 19th Street. Let me see if I can slow it down just slightly. I do have traffic behind me. So the residential areas on the north side of the neighborhood, which is north of Spring Garden, are composed mostly of brick and brownstone 3-story townhouses built during the mid to late 19th century. The houses include townhouses in the Italianate style, Second Empire, Queen Anne, and Venetian Gothic. I believe that's the architectural type. Many streets, including Green Street and Spring Garden Street, include terraced setups, which include a small garden plot often raised in front of the house, which you will see on my right-hand side. And some of them just opted to eliminate the garden and just cement it. We're passing 20th and Spring Garden, but you can look at the houses on our left and on our right. They're beautiful homes, and they're a lot taller and a lot larger. Bigger doorways, bigger ceilings, bigger windows. The building all around is a lot bigger. We're passing 21st and Spring Garden. We're passing the Goddard School on our left-hand side. I'm gonna make this right-hand turn coming up shortly. So if we go up one more block, you'll run into the Art Museum. I'm gonna make this right. We have Gulf Gas on our left, which is charging $4.19 per gallon, which is about 30 cents over what you would pay in the hood. They charge a little bit more here because they're allowed to. They're in downtown and a lot of people don't mind it. And this neighborhood, the demographics, a lot of people make some pretty good income here. So they don't really mind it. Nobody's arguing about the gas prices. Check out the house on my left. Look at that building on Green, 22nd and Green. Look how beautiful that structure is. Let's make this right-hand turn on Green. Now, what's funny is that one day in the past, this was the hood. I was told by several individuals who used to be in the Fairmount and Spring Garden neighborhood back in the 80s, and they said this was the hood back in the day. It was a lot of Puerto Ricans. They said it was a lot of Puerto Ricans in this area. And now if you look at it, it's been gentrified many, many, many years ago, and this is just a sought after ideal urban environment many people want to live in, just because it's close to downtown, it's close to historical attractions. You got Liberty Bell not far from here. You got City Hall. You got plenty of eateries, bars, storefronts, cafes. Look on our left, the Fairview, which looks like a dining area. For rent on our left-hand side. 2043 Green Street is for rent. There's a vehicle behind me, so I am traveling at 12 miles per hour just to keep a steady pace. You can see the leaves, the autumn leaves. Since the seasons are changing, the leaves change colors and they also fall. Hence why it's called fall. The green room on our right. It looks like another tap house, alcohol and food. So the residential areas to the south are dominated by taller, multifamily buildings built during the 20th century. The museum area also to the south of Spring Garden includes the Rhoda Museum, the Central Library of Philadelphia, the Barnes Museum. Before consolidation of Philadelphia, Spring Garden was a district of Philadelphia County. So like many other little neighborhoods, like Northern Liberties and a few other areas, such as Manayunk, they were their own districts, they were their own townships, they were literally their own little cities before the evolution of transportation and technology. I'm gonna pull over here because the vehicle's still behind me and I'm gonna allow them to go by so I don't hold them up. I feel as though that when there's cars behind me tailing me, it influences my speed. And I wanna try to capture some good footage here. Enon Baptist Church on our left, but you can see a lot of uniform facades, the facade of the building. Check that out, there's a 4-story building on our right. Beautiful, beautiful building. Green Street Dog Park, we passed it on our left. There was somebody shot here recently, a couple years ago, right here at this public school on our left in the schoolyard, right, 18th and Green. You have Laura Wheeler Waring Public School on our left, the Green Fair on our right. Check out these buildings on our left and on our right. A lot taller, very clean, nice steps and stairways. I have another vehicle behind me. It looks like a FedEx truck. So I'm gonna have to travel at normal speed, ladies and gentlemen. We're traveling eastbound. I'm gonna turn off here. No, this one goes right. It's gonna take us to Spring Garden. I'm gonna turn off on the next block so we can go left and just keep zigzagging on the way down. Down as in northbound is to our left, eastbound's in front of us, westbound's behind us, to our right is southbound. Basically, if you head right, you go to South Philly. If you head left, you go to North Philly. You go in front of us, we don't have an East Philly, but you'll head east. You go behind us, will be considered west. All right, let's make this left-hand turn here. And we're approaching Mount Vernon Street, Mount Vernon. Now, if I'm correct, this is gonna bring us to another detour. Let's see. Yeah, at the end of the next block, it's gonna bring us to another detour. But I just wanted to go through here so you can actually see the blocks. There's rarely any trash outside. Most of the houses are original brownstone. So the 2000 US Census reported that the population within this 19130 zip code is 22,252 people. The racial composition of Spring Garden was 60% white, 30% African American, 3% Asian, 7% Hispanic. 10 years later, the population increased by 10% to 24,870 people, and increase of population of 2,618 people. Check out that mural on my right. I'm gonna go straight and we're just gonna continue moving forward. We're gonna hit a dead end. Look at it. We have the PPA on our right. I think he's pondering of writing a ticket. So now the new composition of the neighborhood is 68.1% white, 21.4% black, 5.6% Asian, and no mention of Hispanics. Before the neighborhood was incorporated into the city of Philadelphia in 1854, the city of Spring Garden peaked at 9th on the list of the largest cities in the United States in the 1850 census. You see? So this little area was once considered its own city. For me, that's mind-blowing, because nowadays, as a driver, you can get through this little quote-unquote so-called city in less than 5-10 minutes, depending on traffic. So you don't imagine a city to be that small. But then again, while traveling across the country, I've seen some of the smallest cities of my life. Some as small as 50 residents. We have Roberto Clemente Park on our left-hand side. This is a really nice park. They have a community garden. There's a property for sale on my right. 613 18th Street, Philadelphia, PA. Look up that property if you want. 613 18th Street is for sale. In case you guys want to figure out how much property around here is going for. We have a lot for rent. Look at, they got the original OG shutters. The original shutters. We're passing Wallace Court. So Spring Garden appears in various maps of 1796 as a small settlement between Vine Street and Buttonwood Lane, and a point on a line with 7th Street and extending as far west as Ridge Road. The street, or I'm sorry, there was a street not known as Franklin Street. I do apologize. I'm trying to multitask here. West 17th and Wallace. We have some pedestrians crossing on my left-hand side, a beautiful mural on my right. So let's try this again. The street, now known as 8th Street, then called Garden Street, ran through the center of the district. And the street now called Darien, formerly known as Garden Street, then called Spring Street, ran from Vine to Buttonwood. The neighborhood was originally part of Northern Liberties, a township to the north of the city. You see, literally earlier I was just telling y'all how Northern Liberties was considered its own township. If you're from Philly, from the modern day, you're not from like the early 1900s, you're gonna go, what? Northern Liberties was its own township? Yeah, it was its own township, which blew me away too. Like, I was blown away. Because these are just simple neighborhoods to me, you know, due to transportation making it so easy to get from point A to point B. But I'm assuming back in the day, in the 1800s, 1700s, it was tough traveling, because you was using what? Foot, horse carriages, if you're lucky, if you were prominent enough to own a horse and ride a carriage and all that stuff. But I'm sure that was probably reserved for the wealthy. All right, we're on Wallace, traveling eastbound. We're gonna go straight to Broad Street. Broad Street's one of the borders too. We have a school in the neighborhood on my right-hand side. It's a high school. I believe it's George Washington High School. I could be wrong, so if anybody wants to enlighten us, feel free to correct me. We have Santucci's Original Square Pizza directly in front of us on our left-hand side. Samuel Staten Senior Office Building, Laborers District Council on our left. All right, check out the dude right there riding that unicycle skateboard thingy majiggy. You see it? Yo, he was chilling. It only had one wheel. We have the Studebaker building on our right, and we also have the Divine Lorraine Hotel directly in front of us. Look up. You see that big sign that says Divine Lorraine? That building was abandoned for many, many, many years. And then they rehabilitated it within the last decade and a half and opened it back up. I don't know how many people are living in it and calling that place home, but yes. Wow, this is a pretty clean CRV on my left. The black one. The first generation, not the second, not the one that was after. I think the one after was like 5th, 6th gen. So areavibes.com classifies the crime in this neighborhood between two neighborhoods. The Fairmount neighborhood and the Spring Garden neighborhood. This area receives an F rating when it comes to crime. It receives an F rating. I'm gonna allow this vehicle to go by. He was already gonna go through the stop sign, so might as well. Passing Sydenham. Violent crimes in Fairmount Spring Garden are 25% higher than the national average. In Fairmount Spring Garden, it is said that you have a 1 in 32 chance of becoming a victim of crime. Fairmount Spring Garden is safer than 56% of the cities in Philadelphia. All right, we're going to continue moving forward. We have some really nice properties on our left, really nice properties on the right. I really admire the ones with these first floor garages. You see those? Oh man, those are my favorite. Look at these on my right. Look at with a roof deck. Pimping. Look at this one on my left. The one the lady's walking by. That's a nice building. Dang. Yeah, these are nice. These were made recently too. These are a newer addition to the community. But you notice how they kept the brownstone? They kept it classy. Let's keep on moving forward. We're traveling westbound, and unfortunately I have a vehicle that's been following me for about 2 blocks. We have a nice little pug on our left, Pug Life. She was walking a pug. Does this guy have his signal on? If he don't have his signal, I'm just gonna let him go by because I really don't want to be influenced to go any faster. And they're still behind me, even though I gave them that opportunity. This is a garden on my left-hand side. Once again, I'm gonna pull over and give the opportunity of the person behind me to go past me. Second opportunity. This time they took it. But you're more than welcome to go, man. I don't need anybody behind me. Go ahead, you're good. Go, bro. Go, everybody go. Scooter dude almost ran right into her. Everybody's just randomly stopping there. Oh, there's a stop sign, so it makes sense. So this neighborhood receives an F rating when it comes to the cost of living. Cost of living is 25% above the national average. Goods and services is 5% above the national average. Housing is 62% above the national average. Okay, let's make this right-hand turn. Now we're gonna make a right and we're gonna be approaching Fairmount Ave. You got Fairmount Pizza and Grill right here. Now, if you cross over Fairmount, you'll be in the Fairmount neighborhood. Remember, I was telling you that they classify the crime. They not classify, but they create the crime stats of the Spring Garden neighborhood, and they combine both neighborhoods basically. That to me still didn't make absolutely no sense, but it's all right. You have to admit it when you make no sense. We're at Fairmount and Corinthian Ave. You have the Eastern State Penitentiary on the right. That was once home of the notorious mobster Al Capone. Nowadays, it is a tourist attraction. It's a place where you can go and pay to get a tour. You can can visit the haunted attraction. Yeah, I've actually been there once. We're at 21st and Fairmount. I'm gonna make this left-hand turn on 21st. We have a coffee house on my right. So let me rephrase that sentence earlier because that's beating my head up. We're passing North Street. So the way they create the crime stats for both of these neighborhoods is they combine both numbers to create one statistic that applies to both neighborhoods. That still makes no sense. Give up, Toon. Oh, man. Oh, no, Mario. I give up. I quit. I surrender. No, I never surrender. Never. Let's make this right on Mount Vernon. Look at this block right here. Very charming block. Very charming block. Trees provide shade. The shutters, look at the shutters on my right. I see the red shutters. That stuck out automatically. They're functional shutters. These aren't shutters that's just bolted onto the front of the building for show. Go outside. If you have shutters, look at them. See if you can actually swing them open. If they're bolted to the wall, you do not have functional shutters. Meaning, in case of a storm or in case you just don't want people entering your property, you can't close. Well, you could probably close those shutters. You just have to unbolt them. But it's too much work. These can just swing open and close. Look at that Tesla on our right. They were charging their vehicular device in front of their property. So this area receives a livability score of 69. 69. We're at Mount Vernon and 22nd Street. Mount Vernon and 22nd. So Fairmount and Spring Garden Philadelphia, PA schools receive a D- rating based on areavibes.com. Average test scores are 17% below the national average. High school diplomas are 12% above the national average. Bachelor's degree, 130% above the national average. So that means that many people at least obtain a bachelor's degree in this neighborhood. That means the majority. Now, houses in this area can go anywhere from as low as $300,000-$400,000 to as high as $785,000, $900,000. I won't be surprised, depending on the size of the building and the amenities that come with it, over $1 million. Depends on which property. It's all about location, location, location. So 93.5% of people in Fairmount Spring Garden have completed 8th grade. 93.2% of people in Spring Garden have completed high school. 69.8% of people in Fairmount Spring Garden have completed a bachelor's degree. All right, let's make this right-hand turn, Spring Garden Street. And look what you see here when you turn. Not only did you see the skyline when I turned, but look at, you have the museum over there on my left-hand side. Around the corner, you also got several other museums, such as the Franklin Institute. I believe the Police Touch Museum used to be nearby, but they relocated it. We're at Judson and Pennsylvania Ave. What else? What else do we have nearby? I believe the Natural Academy of Science. It's a science museum. I'm going to make this right-hand turn. You have a lot of what you can see is apartment living spaces. You see those tall buildings on our left? Let's make this right. We have St. Francis in front of us. You see this big church? St. Francis Xavier Church, the Oratory of Fairmount. So in comparison, Remember we were talking about test scores? Well, Philadelphia has a population of a little over 1.5 million people. 1,559,938 people. I don't know when's the last time that was updated. Average test scores are 29%, right? Which is 38.9% below the national average. What are some states that have better test scores than us, and cities, I should say? Jacksonville, Florida. They have better test scores than us, and they have a smaller population, 856,000 people. Houston, Texas, better test scores than us, 2.2 million people. Austin, Texas. Dallas, well, technically, Jacksonville, Florida is 3.3% above the national average. Houston, Texas is 11.4% below the national average, but they have a larger population. So I guess you got to take those numbers into consideration. Austin, Texas has 907,000 people. Average test score is 49%, 2.5% above the national average. Dallas, Texas has 1.2 million people, a little over that, 1,278,433 people. Average test scores are 45%, which is 6.2 below the national average. And San Antonio, Texas, damn near has a little less than us, 1.4 million, 42% average test score, 13% below the national average. So I guess you have to take the population into consideration. And these are just general numbers that you can find on the World Wide Web. Yo, check this out. The sidewalks, oh, the ones on my left, they're blocked by cars, but there's brownstone sidewalks, red brick sidewalks. A lot of properties for rent. There's one for rent on my right. 2108 is for rent. 2108 green. 2108 green is for rent, ladies and gentlemen. Let's make this right because we already went straight. So let's go right. All right, we're passing Wilcox. Let's make another right here. One thing you will notice about the neighborhood is majority of the neighborhood, with the exception of a few houses like these on our left, they're all uniform in color. People add little details, like they'll paint the accents. You see blue, cream, green, red. But the bricks themselves will remain original brick color, which in my personal opinion, that's my favorite. That's my favorite. Call me biased because I'm real home raised and I grew up with a red brick home. So I'm like kind of used to it. But I think it's the most traditional, classy looking style. Let's keep on going straight. Let's go straight one more block because we already went right and we don't want to try to go through the same thing twice. We didn't go through this block yet in this video. Now make note, I have done this video. I have done a video in this neighborhood on a few occasions. So this isn't my only time coming through here. So I got different footage on different days coming through here, different years. And normally I take different routes. So if you see a block that I didn't catch today, I'll probably catch it in another Fairmount video or Spring Garden. I like those houses right there on my left, the ones with the first floor garages. I don't like the rooftop. You see the rooftop? The roofop's really funky rooftop. But I like the first and second floor. Ouch. All right, we can make a left here. We're gonna make a left and travel eastbound on Spring Garden Street. Fairmount and Spring Garden receives an A+ when it comes to amenities. And that probably has to do with, look right in front of me. You see the Philadelphia skyline? You see it, right? It's pretty much in walking distance. So if you lived in this area, you got all the shopping your heart needs within walking distance. All types of stores, from Target to electronic stores to clothing stores, bars, restaurants, pizzerias, eateries, museums, all that stuff. We're gonna make this left-hand turn on Spring Garden. And you can see the city skyline directly in front of us. But we're turning left on the 2200 block of Spring Garden Street. We have the very expensive Golf gas station on our left-hand side. We're at 22nd and Spring Garden, traveling eastbound.